She founded an architectural concrete company.
He founded a $100 million clothing company.
She took the world by storm as a social media star.
He took the world by storm as a famous serial entrepreneur.
Together we started a business.
And had babies.
Now we're figuring out the best ways to do both.
Join us as we learn from other entrepreneurs going through the same life struggles.
As they share their life hacks about success, love, kids,
and everything in between.
Hey, Sam, welcome to the Pretty and Punk Show.
Dan, thank you so much for having me. I appreciate both of you for having me on your awesome show.
Yes. It was an honor for us to have you on here. You have such a great backstory. We watched a lot of stuff on you and read a lot of stuff on you, and you got so much. I mean, there's a lot of great interviews out there, but I want to let you know this interview will be a little bit different because we want to focus on your family life, your life as an entrepreneur with your kids and your new wife. And we want to have a lot of that in there because a lot of the people listening are entrepreneurs with kids, and they're trying to figure out how to maintain this juggle of running a business. Is there work-life balance? And
it's difficult when you're successful in business. A lot of times the relationship starts to fail. I don't talk about it much, but I've been through divorce, and it's the hardest thing to go through. And luckily I didn't have kids when I went through it, but it's a lot that people don't really talk about.
I'm so glad you guys are doing this. I'm so glad. I mean, you guys are touching on something that not many people talk about, but it needs to be talked about.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But let's start back at the beginning. Let's start with young Sam. You have a great backstory. I love your backstory. So tell us how you got started. Let's go back to where your drive came from. Tell us about young Sam.
Well, I think when I look back, ever since I was a little kid, I didn't want to be average. I didn't want to be average in school. I didn't want to be average in sports. I always wanted to win. Mm-hmm. Even when my grandma would play like cards with me, I was like a little kid playing cards with grandma, and she would beat me. I would just run, go to my room and cry because I lost. I hated losing, and so I didn't want to just grow up and just be average. And I want to be like everybody else. I wanted to be the best that I could be. That's something that I think I was born with, and to this day, I don't understand, so when somebody say, well, I'm okay, just going to work and coming home and watch Netflix and just let the rest of my life just pass by me. I don't believe in that. It's not about the money, or it's not about the material things. It's about just getting better every day and improving and becoming your best self. But then, my mom and my dad, separated when I was 3. Mm-hmm. And I never saw my dad ever after that again. And my mom, was a single mom, was a superwoman. Mm-hmm. And I saw my mom hustle. I saw my mom work. I saw my mom, what she had to do to make things work. So I automatically equated, how my mom was just working and going to different jobs and hustling. My mom brought me to the United States with herself, $500 on a luggage. She took risk. And when she came to America, she worked for my uncle. And then after about a year, with like $500, she started her store, a boutique, a bridal boutique, and then she grew that to a huge, enterprise. Wow. And I saw that. I was firsthand, saw what she did. And I always had that work ethic, that mindset from my mom, and that work ethic, and the fact that I just don't want to be average. I want to become the best that I could be. Combined together is, I think, was what brought me here.
Yeah. Were you involved in your mom's business early on? I know, being I believe you were an only child, right? Correct?
Yeah.
And being an only child, it's probably in some ways easier for your mom to be able to take care of you, but you're probably involved in a lot of the things that she did too. How were you involved in her business?
Believe it or not, I wasn't. My mom, was like, look, you go to school, you concentrate on what you have to do. I got us. Not every once in a while, she's like, Sam, can you come to the store? I got to go somewhere, and I would go to her store, and there were ladies like trying out dresses, And I'm going like, I think it's good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's kind of awkward, but she was a superwoman. She's like, I got it. You go concentrate on your school, you concentrate on your sports, and I take care of the rest. And she's always done that.
Yeah, well, you can see, I'm sure
Wow.
you were obviously influenced by what she was doing. She led by example, and I'm sure that rubbed off for you.
Straight hustle, just
Yeah.
straight hustle. She would just go open that store and wait for hours and hours and hours. Sometimes a few days go by and not one customer walks in.
Yeah, it's
Next thing
hard.
you know, one day she opens up and there's 5 customers waiting outside the door. So you couldn't, get, lackadaisical. Oh man, he's slow and I'm gonna quit and I don't know what I'm gonna do. She just showed up and she put in her hours in and she hustled and she made it.
Yeah, my mom was a single mom as well, and she took the whole, like, she just, I don't know, like, it's crazy to think that the way she lived her life. And I feel like a part of me is like, okay, you came to this country with nothing, you've done all this, like, I have to be successful, like, I can't fail. My mom raised 3 kids. So when you talk about this stuff, like, I just want to tear up and I get goosebumps because I feel you. I know there must have been that fire
Yeah, her mom
inside
was an
you.
immigrant of Hungary, so I know you guys probably, that those families. And
It's
why do you
just a
think that is?
different
Just
mindset,
off the a side note, why do you think so many immigrants find their way to entrepreneurship and are so successful in it? More so than you got
Well, they
Native
have no other
Americans.
choice.
Well,
They come to the
absolutely.
country without an education. They have to fight to survive. And it's just a
100,
different.
100% I agree with you. I also, recently, actually thought about this question, and I thought about it and deeply, and I'm like, why, they call it immigrant success story, the immigrant hustle, the
Right.
mentality. And here's my theory, you know, in a third world country, or we have the work ethics. We just don't have the opportunity.
That's right.
I mean, we have,
Bang on. He's bang
we
on.
we hustle hard. We get paid fraction pennies on a dollar, and we work so hard to be able to buy bread and buy rice and be able to survive. Right? There's no opportunity. You just have to. You're trying to survive, so you have to work hard just to survive. And then you come to an opportunity. You come to a new country where that there's a plenty of opportunity, plenty of advancement. Right? So you have a superpower country that has all the advancement, but you have the immigrant mentality, the immigrant work ethic combined with
Right.
opportunity is when it just goes boom.
Yeah.
Boom. Yeah, I believe that 100%. That's so powerful, and something I mean, a large portion of Americans need to learn, because it's given to us. Like we're born with it right in front of
Right.
us, and a lot of us don't take advantage of it.
It's
And
such
don't
a
even go there, man.
it's such a golden opportunity to see that and to see the struggle that your parents went through. And it's like, how am I going to let Daniel and Destiny know that? Do you know what I mean? Because we're living different. Like, we have work ethic, but we just want to pass that on. Like, how do I even put that into words? You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like,
your mom was it was very important for you to have an education, and you talk about this in some of your interviews. I'm wondering, in this day and age when a lot of people think that education isn't important, how do you feel about education now?
I think any education is important. Anytime you can learn anything is important. Anytime you can surround yourself with any kind of like-minded individuals is important. Now, education, whether it's formal education or whether it's post-education, life education, lifetime education, is always important. Now, is formal education necessary for massive success? And the answer to that, we all know, is no. You cannot have a formal education and be massively successful. But does it help you? Yes, definitely helps you. There's so many things that I've learned that are intangibles when I went to college.
Mm-hmm.
So many things that I wouldn't replace that, for anything. And I don't know whether you go to college for 4 years, 6 years, or 8 years, at the grand scheme of things is a very small fraction of your life.
Right.
I mean, for you to build that intangibles and for you to be able to go into this world with just a little extra edge,
Yes.
whether it's academically or whether it's personally, whether it's for you just to show up at a certain place at a certain time, or get an assignment done at a certain place at a certain time, or be responsible for something, it's a great education.
Yeah, I think, one of the things that blew me away when we started studying you is I've been following you for a while, and I did not know you had your doctorate. Blew me away like that, because I still feel, even though I didn't have a college education, I always felt like it was important, and I wanted my kids to have that, because I felt like I really feel like it helps you learn.
I feel it opens more doors, and it gives you more experiences. The more experiences you could put under your belt, I think the more successful you can
and
be.
Understanding how to learn and how to read and get something out of that and apply it. I mean, a lot of those things that, we have to learn as entrepreneurs, that you can be self-taught in, but sometimes when you're put in that formal environment, I feel like you get something out of that. What did you actually get from college, you feel, or university?
Yes. So I got to learn how to be on time. I got to learn how to work under pressure. I got to learn how to work with others. I got to learn how to do laundry, cook,
be on your own.
cook. You know what I mean? Like, learn how to cook.
Yep.
I just learned how to perform under pressure. And that's something that's some of the intangibles that I've learned from that. And obviously all the academics and everything that I've learned on the books and with the professors. There's some of the intangibles that you won't get anywhere else.
Yeah. So after you graduate from university, at what point did you know you wanted to be an entrepreneur? I mean, at that point you could go on to be a doctor. I think you were in chiropractic, and you could have gone on to open a practice, and that could have been your direction. How did you end up going a different direction?
Well, I fell in love with transforming my body for weightlifting. And that was all by itself was an accident, because I got cut from the basketball team and I didn't know what to do. I wanted to get better at basketball. I see these weightlifters. I'm like, oh, this is cool. They look like Arnold. They look like Sylvester Stallone. I want to lift like that. That was Arnold movies were big back then. I was looking at Arnold movies, and I was like staring at his arm. I'm like, God, can a human being actually look like that?
Yeah.
So I started, lifting, and I started seeing, they'll transform my body little by little. But what I loved about it is it also transformed my mindset, also transformed me, not only physically, but mentally. And I fell in love with it, and I became obsessed with it. I'm like, I want to learn everything about, working out, everything about nutrition, everything about mindset. And throughout the whole time I was going to college, because my mom said, become a doctor. I'm like, I never wanted to go and work on people and crack people's backs, or I'm like, I wanted to help people transform the way I transform myself. And so as soon as I graduated, college, matter of fact, the diploma is right there in the corner. I'm looking at it. I give my diploma to my mom. I said, Mom, here's your dream for me. Now you can call all your Persian friends and brag that your son is a doctor. Because I know that was her thing. That's her trophy. I'm like, but can I open up my gym? Because I want to use everything that I, learned in college, in chiropractic school. I want to be able to apply that to transform people's physique, which I know in turn will transform their life.
Yes, you're giving them the gift of life, of health. That's
absolutely, absolutely.
You can't put a price on that. When you give someone health and life, you're just
transform all other aspects of their life as well. And so I started. I did that. And, oh, by the way, Mom, can I borrow $20,000? I had $20,000 saved, and I, borrowed $20,000 from my mom. And there goes in February 15th of 2000, I started my first entrepreneurship journey, which I didn't know nothing about entrepreneurship. I wasn't like, oh my God, I want to become an entrepreneur or business owner. I was just a bodybuilder who wanted to, I changed my own physique, and I want to help other people change theirs.
Right.
And so I got into, okay, I'm gonna open my own gym, entrepreneurship, my own business. I didn't know what an LLC was. I didn't know what an S corp. I didn't know what insurance was. I didn't know any of that. That's everything that I've learned through trials and tribulations, and later on, I'm like, oh my God, maybe I need to actually have a lease. Maybe I should actually have a corporation. Everything else later on came through.
Walk us through that a little bit. So,
Because a lot of
starting your
people
first
are
gym.
losing jobs right now and they're figuring this all out. This is a new language. They've been studying for a career and things are shutting down and they're starting their own online businesses. It's such a great time. So yes, walk us through. This is so valuable. Thank you.
Well, first of all, man, if somebody is starting their own business, congratulations. There's no other time better than right now. Right now you can start having an audience and start selling right away. You can get on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, anything. Back then, if I wanted to get in front of people, I have to have hundreds of thousands of dollars to get on TV or radio.
Right.
Right now, you can pretty much do anything. So I started the entrepreneurship journey. Like I said, I had $40,000 in my name. $35,000 went into the business. I only have $5,000 started capital. I didn't know what to do because rent was due in 30 days, and payroll was due in 30 days, and I did something that we all do. When our back is against the wall, we just work and figure it out. When there's time to sink or swim, you figure it out. And I always tell people, burn the boats. Give yourself no option, no way out.
No plan B.
No plan B. Figure it out. I think a lot of people they don't succeed because there's always that. Oh, if this doesn't work, I'm gonna go back to my comfort zone. If this doesn't work, I'm gonna go back to what I know. Guess what? If you always gonna have a backup plan, then you're never gonna go all in. And in life, you either go all in or don't go in at all. And so moving back to my mom and go in Pennsylvania was an option. I was here in sunny California. I loved it. Plus, the girls here are a lot friendlier. I was like, Mom, these girls are so much nicer. And I was, so failure wasn't an option. And I made it work.
How old were you when you moved out here?
I was 23.
So you're still a young buck. You're 23 years old. You decide to come out here. Hey, walk us through the growing your company up until about 2008 when some other situations happened.
So remember, I come from a little town called Sharon, Pennsylvania, which is about an hour north of Pittsburgh. And Sharon is a steel town that all the steel mills got shut down because they all went to China. So it's a very depressed, you see abandoned steel mills, abandoned buildings, abandoned businesses, and I think the average household income in Sharon is maybe $25,000, $30,000 today.
Wow.
Today.
That's depressing.
Yeah, very
That's
depressing.
That's hard to be around.
You can buy a mansion there, for a couple of $100,000. Like I'm talking about mansion with land and everything else like that.
Oh, wow.
So, coming from that mentality to starting my own business, and next, I'm starting making some money, and I got to maybe, my goal was $10,000 a month. Oh my God, $10,000 a month. That was my ultimate goal, and because Sharon, if you make $3,000 a month, you are absolutely crushing it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So now, nobody in my family, ever made $10,000 a month. I make $10,000 a month. Oh my God, and next thing you know, I made a little more, got to 20,000. Next thing you know, I just thought that I was P. Diddy. Because I didn't have any financial education. I didn't have a dad to teach me about, economy. I didn't have anyone to teach me, hey man, there's ups and downs in economy, save, invest, do this, like that. I was like one of those, you see those rappers that come up and next thing they're buying this and they're buying that. Even I bought my first home with a pretty bad mortgage. Back then it was giving away mortgages. And I bought a BMW, I bought a truck, I bought a motorcycle. I'm like, what? It was dumb because I was working 80 hours a week. I was like, I could enjoy it. I was just working 80 hours a week. The BMW was outside of the gym the whole time. But made those decisions. But in 2008, God humbled all of us, I think, in the world, you
Yep.
know, and I've been humbled a few times. And next thing the recession comes, a lot of my clients were in the mortgage industry and realtors, and next thing you know, nobody can afford it anymore. Now I have this big overhead car payments and, mortgage payment. And the worst part was that we were pregnant with our first child. I
Mhm.
remember Bailey was born, July 3rd of 2009. I remember, being across from my wife then,
Mhm.
and in a restaurant crying, and I said, you know what, we don't have any money. She was pregnant. She was 6 months pregnant. I was looking at her belly and I was crying in a restaurant. I said, I don't want to get emotional, but it was a very, as a
Sure.
man, not having a dad, I always want to be the super provider. I want to be
Right.
able, just for me, when my kids are happy, when my wife is happy, that makes me, what I mean, that makes me complete, and so for me,
Mm.
I'm a super provider. I'm going to provide for them, and now all of a sudden I feel as a man, I'm sitting down there, I'm like, man, and now all these negative thoughts going through my mind. I'm like, Sam, you're just going to be like, just like your dad. Your dad didn't have nothing for you. He left you, didn't have anything for you. You're not going to be able to provide for your kid that's coming into this world. And, and also all these negative thoughts, but, so,
What did that feel like, Sam? When you were going through that? I mean, were you deriving strength out of that, or what was going
Yeah,
through
because
you
that
at
could
that time?
take you
Because that's a
down or
hard. That's
build you
hard.
well,
up.
it took me down for, I would say, about a week. Like for about a week, I was like lost. I felt like, I got, punched by Mike Tyson behind the neck.
Mm.
And I was like dizzy. I was like, didn't know what my next move was,
Yeah.
and I always said after like eating pizza for a week and watching some movies and feeling sorry for myself, I always said, okay, what are my options?
Mm.
And what are my options?
Right.
One, I can feel bad and go down that route and be that guy to say, because of this happened, I'm this way. I'm this way because of this happened. I'm this way. And those guys,
Mhm.
those
Yeah.
people that say, oh man, I was doing good, but this happened and after this, my life just went down. And I
Mm.
didn't want to be down. And I'm
Mm.
like, all right, man, I got knocked down. I got knocked down pretty hard, and I just got to get back up. I don't know how I'm going to fight back. Here's what I did. I don't know how I'm going to fight back, but I'm just going to get back up.
Yep.
Amen.
And so I got back up and I said, and I said, look, I'm just going to go to work. I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to go to work and we'll figure it out. So every day for a period of about 2008 to 2014, rate of 6 years, I got up, worked 16 to 18-hour days, and I'm like, all right, I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to figure it out. I come home every single day with an L. Every single day with an L. I lost every single day, every single day. We tried this, we tried that, we tried this, we tried that, we tried this, we tried that. Some
Mhm.
success and no, and all that kind of stuff. So I couldn't break it. And once I started seeing the end, light at the end of the tunnel, I started seeing some traction.
Mm. You're learning.
I'm like, all right, we're okay. I can see this now. I can see a way out.
Uh-huh.
At one point I was 2 years behind on a mortgage payment. There's nothing
Mm.
worse than coming, and there was nothing worse than coming to your home and not knowing that they're going to change the locks and you're going to be able to get in. Think about it,
Yeah.
as a man, I felt horrible. Like, are they going to kick my wife and my daughter out, my little daughter out? What are they going to do? And
Mhm.
once I started seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, I was going good. I'm like, all right, I think we're going to, be able to breathe again. And boom, God hit me with another thing, which was my divorce.
Oh my gosh.
And now all of a sudden I'm like, all right, I see the end light at the end of the tunnel. And next thing you know, I'm like, oh man, because I was working so much, because I was so stressed,
Mm.
I literally wasn't being a good husband.
Yeah.
I wasn't being a good husband. I was just coming home. I really didn't feel like talking to her. We grew apart,
You grew apart.
and
Yeah.
I was in the
I've
best of
been there.
moods. I wasn't always in the best of moods coming home. I
Mm.
was just trying to figure a way out, what I mean, trying to save our house and all that kind of stuff. And it's very important for people who are listening to this is not to, lose focus of the big picture.
Mm.
All the money is good, all the kind of good is everything is good, success is good, but not if your home is a wreck. You know what I mean? So you got to be able to balance things out, and I'll talk later on about how to balance things out. You know, I think that's very important.
Yes.
And if the recession wasn't bad enough, that really devastated me. That really devastated me. And I was like, oh my God, I find myself, which was only 7 years ago, you know,
Yeah, that's not that long ago. My gosh.
7 years ago, I was living in a hotel. I moved out. I was living in a hotel for 4 months.
That's
Living in
hard.
I mean, and I didn't. And I'm the type of person that I don't talk about it.
Yeah.
At that time, I talk
Of
about it
course.
after I overcome. I don't go, oh my God, I left. I live in a hotel. This and that. No. I just, even my business partners didn't know.
Yep.
I remember by the hotel, there was a Denny's one time. I took my daughter to Denny's because she stayed at a hotel with me. To this day, every time we pass by the freeway, she sees the hotel. Daddy, you used to live there. I'm like, shut up.
Oh.
don't remind me that.
Yeah.
Remember that still.
Yeah.
And I'm going to see my business partner. Oh, what are you doing here? Oh, we're just eating. I never told anyone that. I was embarrassed and I was ashamed, of what I was going through. And after seeing that there's no way back, I finally got a small apartment, and moved into an apartment and now, but it was I can't tell you how many times in that little hotel room I cried every night for hours. I cried every night. I'm like, wow, why me? Why me? God, how important my family is to me and my daughter is to me. I didn't want my daughter to be raised in a broken home. I never wanted my daughters to be broken home, because I was, I didn't have a dad. I didn't want my daughter to have a dad. But
I'm gonna cry. I came from a broken home, so that touches me. I know, I get it.
So
the last thing you want to do is have
yeah.
a divorce.
So I'm like, so. But the thing is, even though we weren't getting along and we grew apart, I never wanted to. I would never pull the trigger because I don't believe in divorce. I wanted my family to be together no matter what. That's not always the right thing to do, And so when she pulled it, I was devastated, and so many nights I cried and cried and cried, and I said, all right, so what am I going to do now? Because my number one priority was always been spend time with the family, be with the family. That was number one. Then provide for the family. Those was that. And now that I don't see my girls, but just maybe, one day a week and on the weekends, I'm like, what am I going to do all this time that I have now? So I literally then became a beast. Like that darkness, I'm like, you know what? One day I just snapped out of it. I go, you know what? F this. I'm going to just work, spend time with my children, be the best that I can be, work, be the best that I can be, and be getting the best shape I can possibly get. I'm going to get back in the best shape possible. So my time was this. If I'm not with the girls, I'm working. If I'm not working, I'm training. That's it. My life consists of this. I became crystal clear of how I wanted to spend my time. And here's the thing. When you're crystal clear on what you want your life to be and how you want to spend your time, then decision making becomes very easy. Now if somebody calls you up and say, hey, Sam, you want to watch the game? Doesn't make me money, doesn't give me more time, doesn't get me healthier. No, thank you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I became regimented on that. And at the time in 2014, when I moved out and we got separated, we only had 8 locations at the camp. 8 locations.
And this is your business.
It's my business, and I had nothing to do but work. What am I going to do? I have all the time to work, so I just work. I didn't have every day. I couldn't go to the family. Every day I worked. And that was the cause that we blew up the camp. Right now we're an international franchise, have over 110 locations because yours truly had nothing to do but work. I'm like, so looking back at all the devastations, they became a superpower.
Yeah.
Everything. When you look back, not having a dad, it made me a super dad. Getting bombed on in Iran and coming to the United States. That was the devastation. I wouldn't come to the United States. Not getting cut from the basketball team and being devastated and embarrassed in front of everyone. I would have never got into weightlifting. You know what I mean? If I would have not got divorced, if I not got divorced, I would have not scaled the camp the way I did. Because I was just comfortable going home and doing what I was doing, I would have not met my new wife, my love of my life. You know what I mean? So everything that happens in life, happens for you, not against you. So whoever is, watching this or, or listening to this, understand that, and I always say this, man, in life, God puts obstacles in front of you to see if you're worthy of his blessing. Because if you quit, that means you don't have faith in him. That means that you're going to quit and he's not going to bless you. But if you persevere and you go through these obstacles and you accept these challenges that God's putting in front of you, then God will reveal your blessing to you at the other side of the challenge. So obstacle, is not in the way, obstacle is the way.
That's so true. I love that. I love that. Obstacles not in the way, it's the way, the way that you need to be going. And I think we can all relate to that, and all the listeners can relate to that.
Absolutely.
When you met your new wife, we saw your beautiful pictures at the Pelican. How is that where it was? The wedding was at the Pelican?
Yes, it was.
Beautiful. You can recognize that place right away. It's just such a beautiful place. And I can't even imagine how much it costs to throw a wedding there. Incredible. It looked incredible.
I joked with my wife. I said, I will be paying for it till the day I
die. we know what it costs to stay there. Yeah. Incredible.
But there's just this glow about you guys, and you could see how happy you are and how happy she is. And
what does she think about you being an entrepreneur?
Yeah, and real quick, how did you meet? Because I know, like, you're just focused. Was it a different process this time? I know we talk a lot about how we're glad, like, the second time around, we really got to interview each other solidly. Like, what would you be like if you lost everything? What would you be like if you had, all your dreams come true? Because people change when certain things in life happen. So how did you guys meet? Like, how did that go down?
So, like I told you, I was concentrating on three things: spend time with the family, provide for the family, and the gym. I wasn't into I wasn't into dating. I went on, I went on a couple of dates, but, I was not open into any relationships.
Right.
And so my mail, now was getting forwarded to, one of our locations in Chino. So I would every once in a while I would go in there to pick up the mail, whatever I need to take care of. So I went to Chino, and there was a new employee, that it was a new assistant manager. And I walked in, and I saw this girl that was like kind of cute, bubbly, but very young, and I saw her like, oh, she's cute, this and that. And I always jokingly call the manager, totally jokingly. It's crazy. Like when I say this, I mean it sincerely. You know what I mean? I jokingly called the manager. I said, who is this girl? I'm going to fire her. And the manager goes, why? What did she do? I said, because I want to date her. She's really cute. And no, it was a total joke. I had not one intention of dating her, not one intention. Like when I mean that. My wife's like, sure. I'm like, no, like, we want to, I'm like, no, And so every time I would go, get my mail, I would say hi, hello, and we just talk a little bit, and that was it. And about a year and a half passes by, and she says, hey, my birthday's coming up and this and that, you should come for my birthday. And I told her, I was like, yeah, I'm going to be in out of town, but when I get back, I will come straight to your birthday, no big deal. So I was expecting going to her birthday, and there's going to be a bunch of people and all that. It was a Saturday. So I went in there, and it was just me, her, and her cousin, and she goes, oh, everybody couldn't make it. Everybody actually come tomorrow. Could you come tomorrow? I go, I can't come tomorrow. I have the girls. But okay, no problem. So we're sitting down, we're talking, and the next thing I'm like, oh, I actually like her, and next we exchange numbers, and we start, and now I feel weird. Now I feel, because I've never one time in my whole life dated anybody who went to my gym, never less somebody who was an employee of the company. Mm-hmm. And now I kind of feel like a creep for a second, I do, like, I'm like, oh my God, she's 20 years younger than me. I'm becoming that man I used to make fun of. I used to make fun of those guys. I'm like, what's this, young girl doing with this old man? So I'm going like, I'm all this stuff going through my head, and I'm going like, oh my God. So the first thing I did, I told my business partner, I go, hey, Ali, Lewis, I'm kind of talking to Crystal, and Ali was like, what? And Lewis is her husband. He's high-fiving me. Really? Yeah. And I'm like, what are the rules of the company And then, you know, before I talk to her, before I take her on a date, I want to know what the rules are.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Talk to HR.
So we actually had to like call the HR.
Yep.
And you know, and HR goes, well, you know, you're not her immediate supervisor, so it's okay for you if you want to date her and go out with her. I'm like, oh, thank God. So I passed that one. Okay, the business partner and the company HR said I can do that because I don't want to, you know, do anything in a sneaky kind of way.
Mm-hmm,
You know?
mm-hmm.
And then so we went on one date, and I'm still kind of not, you know, I'm still like, you know, she, you know, at first she was like, did you think I wasn't attractive? Because you wouldn't even try to put a move on me. You wouldn't touch me. You wouldn't do anything. I'm like, no, because I was like, I have daughters. So in my mind, I'm like, what if my daughter one day brought somebody home that was 20 years older than them and all that? I want to be cool with that. I want to know what's up. So I said, I want to meet your parents. You know, she goes, okay. So I went to her parents' home, and the parents are so nice and welcoming, and they're so family oriented. I'm like, oh, so you guys are okay with it? Okay, if you guys are okay with it, we can do this. So we started dating, and I never forget. After about a month, it was my birthday was coming up, which is May 1st. I said, let's go to LA. You know, go to the weekend concert and just stay overnight in LA. It's my birthday weekend. She goes, okay, no problem. So you know, I made the reservation a month in advance. And about a few days before, her and her mom come by and they're like, yeah, we're getting ready. And they're kind of giggling and laughing. I'm going like, what are you guys laughing about? You know, she goes, well, her dad doesn't know she's going with you and staying overnight. And she's never allowed that. I'm like, holy crap. I already booked the hotel, already booked the concert, already have reservations. You guys told me 3 days before. You know, she goes, don't worry. I'm like, do you want me as a man to call him and ask for permission? I don't mind doing that. He goes, no, we'll handle it. Obviously, they didn't handle it because her dad called me.
Oh, no.
And her dad is a police officer, you know, so he has guns, and he's a former boxer. You know, pro boxer. And I'm like,
A manly man.
Great, man. And I'm like, so after I got his blessing, and that's where it all started.
Oh, wow. That's incredible.
You know, God just brings people into your life.
When you're not looking, it's on his time. It's on God's time, not on your time.
Amen. Yes.
That's 100%.
I love that.
Was there something that you, now looking back at this point, is there something that, that you feel like is different about the second time around?
You know, for me, it's very different because I'm a lot more clear on what I want out of life. You know, I'm a lot more wiser. You know, I know what I want in my life. And more importantly, I know what I don't want in my life. See, all of us, we all know what we want. You know, we all have, you know, to-do lists, right? But it's also important to have not to-do lists.
Yeah.
Things that I will not tolerate, things that I don't want to be a part of. I don't want to do any of that. And, you know, having that crystal clarity, you know, as you get wiser, as you get older, man, you know, it's that. And she's just an amazing homemaker, you know, amazing. And don't get me wrong, you know, every marriage has its ups and downs. Every marriage, you know, it's not like we don't argue ever, or we don't have anything like that and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, sure, you know, we do that, but at least we're on the same page on where we want our life to go.
Yeah, that's important.
100%. Yeah, I think it's, you know, a little bit of argument's healthy. We talk about, we're both passionate individuals about the directions that we want to go in life.
Heads, but at the same time, now we got little eyes watching us. So how do we deal with situations?
Yes.
We want to give them the best tools to be able to deal with life.
And the kids see everything.
They know that we're going
and they don't forget.
And they don't forget. When Daddy raises his voice, he becomes
Daddy
slimy.
raises his voice sometimes.
Stop
I don't mean
being
to, but
slimy Daddy. Like
I get passionate. Yeah,
but we work it out, and they know in the end that we love each other and we're gonna stay.
So I've learned, you know, that whatever argument it is, take a couple of hours, come back later. And if you still got it in you to argue, then argue. If not, you know, but don't keep arguing where you're both heated. You know what I mean? That's the biggest lesson, man. Take a break, take them out. Let me, you know, for me, let me get in the car, drive around a little bit. Let me go on a motorcycle, you know, just cruise. Let me go somewhere else. I'll be back. And next thing you know, It's like nothing ever happened.
See there, I'm with you, Sam, on this, because where I get in trouble is my wife needs to handle things right now.
No. Okay,
And,
I'm better at that. Yes, I do.
And I'm just like
that.
I need to get away for a second, and it won't even bother me in 10 minutes.
But don't
I just need to clear my head.
Sleep while we still have a thing going on, because I'm sitting there stewing and my wheels are turning, and I'm like, how can you sleep?
I'll fall asleep and she'll wake me up to argue again.
How? Like, just give me something. Let's work this out before we.
And it's usually over something.
You say you're from Hungary?
I'm Hungarian, Czech, Italian.
But she was born in.
All of those right there, man, sets temper to me. You know what I mean? So you don't want to mess with her, Dan.
I know. Believe me, mean Hungarian. I've seen her mom. Her mom's a mean Hungarian too.
No, I never say mean words, and I would never.
No, you're not. You're very good, but she's very. I'd say passionate Hungarian.
What two passionate people? They're the heat of the moment. Mm-hmm. You gotta diffuse that. I think from what I get of her, she thinks you're ignoring her. And you don't. You want to make things worse. You ignore a woman. You be like, I'm not ignoring. I'm just gonna cool off. I'll be right back. If you wanna with a woman, you ignore. You do not do that. I used to do that. I used to ignore.
Don't walk out. Just tell me. Just tell me. Like, just let me know that we're in the car together. Like, I gotta go. I gotta cool off. But just let me know that we're gonna come back and drive together. Not.
We're very good at that now.
But just be together. That no matter what happens, I'm angry now. I'm got to deal with it my way, but we're going to.
We're very good at that now.
Yeah.
I think. So let's talk a little bit about work-life balance, because we all love our businesses and we love our families and we absolutely adore our kids. And it's really hard when you're being tugged in several different directions, and all of them are important. Your relationship with your wife is important. If you don't pay attention to your kid, your business won't be there when you wake up. And absolutely your kids are super important. So how do you balance that, or do you have any rules around that, or how do you handle that?
100%, man. I've mastered it. I can tell you I mastered it. And this is something that's very important to me, because obviously I didn't master it the first time. It was a catastrophic failure. You know what I mean? And
right.
So my whole life is all about making sure all the wheels are turning correctly in the right direction. I don't want to, be a billionaire and have my marriage fall apart. I don't want to be a billionaire and be unhealthy. I don't want to be a billionaire and my kids don't recognize me. So for me, it's very important. And where people are messing up, where people are entrepreneurs are messing up, is that they don't manage their time correctly, and they don't have boundaries. See, I believe that you got to manage your time and you have boundaries for everything. If you don't manage your time correctly, let's say you're at work, but are you really at work when you're working? Are you really 100% focused on getting every single task that you need to get done today? See, I run my life like this, my schedule. And every single minute, every single day is accounted for, right? Here, even right after this, I get ready to pick up Haley soccer, Haley swimming, Haley dinner. These are stuff that I'm doing with the family later on, family time. You see right here? Giving family time. So what does that mean? Everybody can put a plan together, but they don't execute the plan, right? They don't execute the plan. Oh, that's easy. I'll put my family time here. I will do my reading time here. I'm gonna do this and that. But what you have to do is disciplined enough to set boundaries and respect for you, and respect for your children, respect for your wife and your spouse, and respect for your work. So when I'm at work, I'm at work. I don't use the phone. I don't text. I don't do this right now. My wife knows that I'm working unless it's an emergency. Call me, don't text me, because I'm not checking my phone. Matter of fact, I track my screen time. I have a goal to not to be on my phone, because I'm going to work in front of the computer. I'm not going to take my work anywhere else. This is taking my work everywhere else with me. This right here, the computer, I can't take it. I can't take this to soccer fields. I can't take it to the swimming practice. I can't take it in the car. right? So I make sure that when I'm at work, I'm at work. I'm sure when it's family time, my phone is off. My phone is off. I don't care what deal is coming through. I'm going to get everything that I need to get done at work time. Family time is family time. Workout time is workout time. My workout time is when the family sleep. Because I can't finish work and with good conscience say, all right, guys, I'm going to the gym now. See you. I'm like, oh, no. I can't do that. So I'm going to try to be as productive as possible when the family sleep. You get everything that I need to get done during work. And last thing I want to do is, be on the phone when the kids are around, trying to make a deal when the kids are around. I don't want my dad. Daddy's never here. He's always on his phone. Daddy, you're not listening. You're on your phone. Dad, I don't want that. I want to be 100% present. The world don't need presents. Your kids don't need presents. Your wife doesn't need presents. She needs presence.
Right.
You know what I mean? And
so valuable.
And that's the thing for me. So if you're not using a schedule, use one. Google Calendar, Outlook, they're free. You have to ask yourself this: what I need to do every single day for me to win life? Because if you win one day at a time, you eventually will win the week. You eventually win the month. You eventually win the year. You eventually win life. What do you need to do every day to win life? What do you need to do every week to win life? What do you need to do every month to win life? Put it on a schedule. Put it on a recurring thing so that you know that, hey, this is what I need to do for me to progress. But most people just wing it. They wing it. Oh, I'm at work, but I don't know what time I'm going to do this. No, I know, as robotic as this may seem. No. My haircuts are same time every week. I go to grocery store same time every week. My family time, they know is from 4 to 8 at night. It's my uninterrupted family time. They know my work time is from 9 to 4 at night, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. is my work. Whether I have work or not, I'm working. I'm here in the office. I'm working. So, whether I'm reading, when I'm studying, I'm working. Family time, I'm not working. Workout time, they're not even awake. I put everything so that everything that I want, even like this thing that, I know my wife likes flowers. So once a week, I have it on my schedule. Get flowers. You know what I mean? Because sometimes we get busy and we forget. Next thing you know, a month goes by and get her flowers. Now it's on my schedule. So I go, check, done.
100%.
That's so good.
Yes, that's we could all take some notes on that. I do. My wife doesn't know that, but I'll let her know right now. I do put it on my schedule and tell her I love her. Just because I will. I'll get. I'll let weeks go by and life goes by and you don't think about it.
It's not like you mean to. It's not like you don't love her. You just get wrapped up and busy. But if you don't have somewhere that you can remind you right away,
I just want to be reminded.
Yes.
So what's important to Sam today? What's important to you with your kids and your family and your businesses going on? What's important to you?
Legacy. Legacy is what's important to me now. My children. Not what I give them, what I put into them is so important. So I cherish every second, every moment with them. What I teach them. Our job as parents is not just to raise kids, but to raise functioning and contributing members of society. And to me, that's a job that I don't take lightly. I really don't. Every chance I get, I have conversations with them, and teach them about life, and that to me is so important. Making money is always important because that's part of your legacy. But as you get older, you value time a lot more than money.
Yes.
And so right now, whenever there is a business opportunity or anything comes my way, I'm not looking at, well, how much money can I make? I'm going to ask, all right, well, yes, how much money can I make? But also, how much time is it going to take? And if the time portion is not what I want, it doesn't matter how much money I make. If somebody said, okay, Sam, become a billionaire, I miss, a year of your, you can't see your kids for a year. I can't do it. I can't do it.
Yeah. And a lot of billionaires have, that's the trade-off, right?
Mm-hmm. There's a
And
lot of successful fathers and mothers
I
out there
know,
that don't
I'm
even
sure we
know their
both know
kids.
a lot of successful people that don't see their kids very much and don't
And
see
that's
their
not
family very
success.
much.
And to me, that's not success. To
Yeah.
me,
Absolutely.
you know, my firm belief is this, you know, that everything over basic necessities in life is a luxury.
Mm.
Everything over basic necessities is a luxury. So what is basic necessity? You need a roof over your head, you need food and water to drink, and you need some basic clothing. And you need to have something so that you're not worried about where your next meal is coming from. Okay, I've covered that. You covered that.
Mm.
You know what I mean? So everything over that is a blessing, is a luxury. You know what I mean? So let's just say, you know, I have an opportunity to make so much more money right now, but it's going to take a lot of my time. What am I going to do with the money? Have a bigger home? I don't need a bigger home. But get a different car? I don't need a different car. I don't need anything. You know, so now time becomes so much more valuable. Now, if I was in my 20s, I didn't have kids, I didn't have a wife, this and that, I would work 80 hours a week. I would work, I would miss weekends and whatever I need to do to make that work. But life has its seasons. And you have to understand that with seasons, you have to change your approach.
Mm-hmm. What are some rituals and things that you do with your daughters and your son that just helps them grow their mindset and really leave them with that?
So I love reading to them. So they know that, they come to my office and we sit down, they see all these books and we pick a book and we read. Every time that, they talk about, Daddy, I want this. It's a conversation for me to talk to them about, needs versus wants, finances, savings, investing, and being grateful for what we have today, and so every opportunity that comes, every conversation is an opportunity for a lesson.
Mm-hmm.
Every single conversation, every time they have a conversation with me, it's like, what can I teach them based on this conversation?
Yes.
That's awesome. We love to do that with our kids too. That's important to us. What do you and your wife do to keep your relationship strong? We know families, we love our kids and absolutely, but we know we should be putting our spouses first. Sometimes, someday the kids are going to go off and do their own thing and they're going to get married. They may move away, but you and your wife will be there forever. So what are some of the things that you and your wife do to keep your relationship strong?
That's a great question, because in the beginning it was a little tough. The beginning a little tough, this is Crystal's first baby. This is her first baby. So she's like, oh, this and that. And then after a while, I was like feeling neglected. I'm like, hey, man, I said, I'm the first baby.
It's hard for mothers and we put all that focus on the kids. And then, when we talk to counselors and stuff, they're like, your marriage is number one. Your kids need to see that daddy and mommy are number one. And it's like, oh yeah.
No, and we went through the same thing. And now we have set, date nights, just like you said. I said, what do you have to do every week to win? So every week, so on the weekends that I have, my other children, we have a date night on Thursdays. So that this way me and her can go, on a date. And on the weekends that I don't have my children, we'll go on a date on a Friday. Nice. So we have a date night every week, and then we set one weekend out of the month to just do a quick getaway. We're just at Pelican Hill this last weekend. This is like a little quick getaway.
Staycation. I love those.
A little staycation, man. It's like, we leave on a Friday, come back Sunday night, and it's kind of a little getaway. So that has worked great for us.
Yeah, I like that. It brings back the spark.
That's great. How do you see yourself different? The young, and I'm just looking at myself, the young me was a hustler, and, I see myself like the infantry back when in my 20s, 20s and 30s, I was like the infantry. Now I see myself more like a battleship. I kind of sit back and, just launching missiles and doing more damage, mind you, too. but I would see, you know, I saw myself, my family different. I saw my possessions different. You know, I tattooed a Lamborghini on my arm when I was young, you know, because I was like you, I saw that as being a way to show success. I grew up in a really poor neighborhood, and that was success for me. And so that was the first thing I ran out and bought as soon as I started to make money. But now, you know, I mean, now since then, you know, we still like having nice cars, but a lot of that stuff has gone by the wayside. How's and other things have become important. How's Sam changed over those
Oh my
years?
God, man. I mean, just like you said, you said it perfectly. You know, as you get older, you learn to not just work harder, but work smarter.
Mm.
I mean, you know, you're not that guy in the infantry, like, penetrating, kicking down doors. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? You know, and going all battled in, all crazy. You know what I mean? So you're that B-52, you know, or you're that battleship that you're like, all right, choo, boom.
Yeah.
You know, you're precise, you're effective, and you don't waste a lot of energy. And when you do anything, it's with a purpose. You know, and that's me right now. You know, I don't know if I told you guys I sold all my exotic cars.
Oh,
Oh, good for you.
Oh,
wow.
I sold all my exotic cars about 6-7 months ago. It's like, dude, like, here's the thing: Lamborghini and a Ferrari, you know, Corvette, you know, the Porsche, they're sitting in the garage looking. My garage looks amazing, you know, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, what? I don't have. I have 3 children, 3 small children, and a wife. Like, I don't want to take a day off and, oh, hey, come to the Lamborghini Club and let's come hang out, cruise all day Sunday. I'm like, dude, I want to be with the family Sunday. I don't got time to
I
cruise all day
get
with you
it.
guys.
Yeah.
I don't
That's
want to
like,
be, I don't want to be with a bunch of guys driving Lamborghinis through the mountains. I want to be with my family. So,
100%.
so the cars were just sitting there collecting dust, you
yeah.
know, and I'm going like, all right, man, this is stupid. You know what I mean? So what can I do? So I sold all the cars.
You went through
Oh,
that.
Yeah.
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 I
And people don't know they're not really fun to, I mean, they're fun to drive, but they're like, you kind of get tired of driving them. They're
I'm
not,
good about an hour. That's about
you
it.
can't see out of them. You can't,
And
there's
see,
no,
out of them too loud. I don't know about you, but after a while, man, it's hard to get in and out of those damn things.
yep.
I mean, and, like I like my truck now. You know, like I said,
Yep.
I'm becoming that old man that I used to make fun of.
Yep.
You know, I remember, seeing an old man, multimillionaire, who could afford Lamborghinis and Ferraris, but
It's
drive.
making sense now, right?
Now it's like
I
he drives a
understand
pickup truck,
before, but
and now for the first time in my life, I bought a pickup truck. You know what I mean?
Yep. I drive a truck too. She drives the Bentley. I
well,
drive the truck.
The Bentley's broken right now, but I'm getting more looks in this truck than in the nice car.
My wife makes fun of me. She's like, my mother's like, so now you're built for tough.
Yep. I
I'm
love
like,
that truck.
and to me, it's like, as you get older, you realize, man, the ultimate form of sophistication is simplification. I look at my closet right now, it gives me a headache. I'm like, what the F was I thinking?
Oh my God, I went through that last year. Like, I threw things in garbage bags. I'm like, why didn't I need a Burkham? Like, really? That was success? What the heck was I thinking? For women, it's a little bit different. But, with a guy, it's the watches, the cars. True success. We get it now.
Yeah, I wear pretty much the same thing. I got dressed up. I actually put on a shirt today for you guys.
Looking good, Sam.
By my standard thing, it's just a t-shirt,
Yeah.
black t-shirt and some jeans.
Mhm.
It's pretty much every day I wear a black shirt and a jean. You know what I mean? And some tennis shoes.
Mhm.
And
that's the secret wardrobe of very successful men. I could tell every woman out there, if he's wearing like all this crazy stuff, the most successful men are wearing blue jeans, black t-shirts, and sneakers. Right? They may be sporting a watch, yes or no, but
and here's the thing. I got a bunch of watches and all that kind of stuff. And you know what I watch, and today, I forgot to charge it, but it's my Apple Watch. Usually I wear the Apple Watch. Yeah. I got to charge because I'm tracking my steps and I'm tracking my calories. With the Rolex, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, it's crazy. To me, as older I get, I just want a simple life. I want peace of mind. I just want to be with kids and all that kind of stuff. And now it's funny because I'm bored, because my businesses are
Mhm.
kind of like are like kids that have grown up, went to college.
Mm.
So they don't really need me by 1 or 2 hours a week. So I'm
Mhm.
like, all right, so what am I going to do? I still got this 9 to 4 that I need to work. I need to
Mhm.
do something. I need to figure these things out. So I've been doing more coaching. I've been doing more consulting. Now, check this out. Like I bought a bunch of books on real estate investment, a bunch of books on stock market. And then
Wow.
I'm watching, the stock market every day right now,
Nice.
and just trying to learn different things to keep myself busy. Progression makes me happy,
Yep.
and I'm like, man, I wish I would have done this earlier,
Mm.
than just trying to, I mean, don't get me wrong. I never regret buying a Lamborghini and a Ferrari and the Rolls
Right. No,
Royce.
you can't
I,
regret
I
anything.
don't regret,
It's
but I'm like,
experience.
have I, would have been mature enough earlier?
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
I would have, man. Like the other day, man. I looked at my stock market account. Like, man, today I made 10 grand just today. I'm like,
That's
hey,
awesome.
what I mean? Like I should have had more money in it. I should have been, what I mean? And you get wiser and you just become more mature.
Incredible.
That's beautiful, Sam. I
Yeah.
love that. Like, that just makes my heart, like, that's so good. People need to hear this, but not even that. You're living the life that is such a phenomenal example for your kids
Yeah.
to
And
see that.
it's really a rite of passage, right? I mean, we have to sometimes go through those things early on and get those things out of our system.
Mm.
And then we grow and become different people. And some of those things fall by the wayside and we become smarter in a lot of ways and find where we're actually supposed to be going.
And doesn't it feel good to say no to things? I remember saying yes all the time. And now becoming a mother and becoming a father, I see you saying no
Oh
a
yeah, I
lot.
think
And
it's
that
Warren
feels
Buffett that
so
says the
good.
most successful
Feels
people in the
so
world
good.
say no a lot.
It's true. It's true because as you get older, again, that old man we used to make fun of. It's the guy who's set in his ways. He's set in
Mm-hmm.
his ways. He doesn't want to do anything. He wants to do what he wants to do. He's set in his schedule and his ways of how he wants to do things. Right there, you go. There's me. You know what I mean? Like I set on my schedule, set on things. I said, no, 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 no. This is what I'm going to do. You know,
Yep.
and then it's not because he's old. It's because he knows what's important
Mm-hmm.
and he knows how he wants to spend his time.
Oh, it's
Yes.
golden. I mean, people are selling courses on scheduling right now,
Yeah.
and they're selling like books and like
We do. Yeah.
little planners and stuff. So it's golden. It works.
Coming to our last two questions. One of the questions we wanted to ask, and we, we all can only be on this earth for so long, and our kids are going to outlive us. If there was one piece of parting information, piece of knowledge that you wanted to leave with your kids, something that would help them with their life, something that it could be very short, just something that you would pass on to them, what would that be? What would you say to your kids?
I would say I would pass on two pieces of information. Okay. One is about treating people as they like to be treated. It's very important to treat everybody with respect. If they want respect, if they expect respect, they have to give respect. To get respect, you have to give respect. So that's very important. I'm always telling, the other day, somebody said something to me that just, I felt like I got $1 million. I felt like they gave me $1 million. Somebody came up to me like, your daughter is so polite. And that I almost like broke down and cried. You know what I mean? I was like, oh my gosh, so all this time I've been correcting her. I'm say, say please, say thank you, say please. So I always correct her, but she doesn't. Please, thank you, please, thank you, please, thank you. And I'm like, oh my God, I sound like a broken record. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And now she's doing it, after like, just constantly being, being that. So that's one of them.
That's
And
good.
the second one, is delayed gratification. Delayed gratification. Learn to give up something that you want now for something greater later, which I believe is the number one key success for people. I mean, you guys have probably heard about the marshmallow study. In the 1940s, in Stanford University did a marshmallow study where they brought a bunch of kids and give them a marshmallow in front of them. And they said, for every minute you don't eat the marshmallow, we'll give you 2 marshmallows. And then they followed them for their adulthood. And the kids who were able to not eat the marshmallow as much as they wanted it, so they can get more and more marshmallow, they were the kids who were able to be more successful. Now, what does that translate in life? So let's just say you want to lose weight, right? You want to lose weight because you're unhealthy, you want to lose weight. Also, you want to lose weight, but there's this nachos in front of you, or this hamburger or pizza, or whatever your favorite food is in front of you. You got to be able to delay the gratification. No, I don't want this pizza. I don't want this, whatever the food is, because I want to have a goal. Here's something I want to achieve, right? So let's just say you want to save money. Or you want to save money. And now the iPhone 175 comes out. You know what I mean? Yeah. Oh my God, I want this, but wow, I want the iPhone. But I need to save money. Learn to delay gratification. I'm going to give you a statistic that is crazy. It's crazy. So I recently interviewed someone who told me that people who wait till they have sex after marriage, the divorce rate right now is 51-52% in America. Right. So you getting married right now, you have a bigger chance of getting a divorce than staying married. All right. But if you wait till you actually get married, then have sex, your chance of getting a divorce is 8%.
Wow.
Wow.
Those are great numbers.
I messed that up. Okay. But so why do you think that is? So because now it's just not a physical thing now. Now actually I got to get to know this person. Let's talk. Let's actually let's not have feelings and emotions involved.
Yes.
Let's just talk and let's interview each other. Let's get to know each other, And so many people just right now it's like we live in a microwave society where everybody wants things right now. We want to become athletes overnight. We become a six-pack overnight. We want to become a millionaire overnight. We want to do everything overnight. Nobody wants to actually delay gratification and wait for something. And if you can just wait and be patient about something you want later on, that's how you're going to become successful in life.
It's so true. What a great piece of knowledge. It's something we don't talk about enough.
Very good. Very good.
Such a great piece of knowledge. And one more thing for your kids. Let's go back to that, because that's so important to all of us and leaving this legacy for our kids. If there was one book that you could leave with Bailey, Haley, and little Sam, that you would want them to read, that would help them through life, what's that book that you would want to make?
And it can be two if you really want. Yeah, I see you have a lot of books.
You have a lot of books, but that one book that you could think of that you would want them to read to understand life, or to understand what they need to do in life.
Nobody's ever asked me that question. That's such a great, so my mind already is like, when you were asking me that, my mind was scanning all the books that I read. Now you almost you putting me in a panic. I'm like, gosh, man, how come I never thought about this question before? I was like panicking, I'm like, wait a second, how come I've never asked myself that question? And so now quickly scanning my mind of all the books. One book I would recommend is How to Win Friends and Influence People.
Oh my gosh, that's my book. That's my book. Yeah.
Because I think that's very important, for them to be a relational person, not a transactional person, right? And the second book, which I think, is just something for their finances. I'll give them one for relationships. I'm gonna give them one for finances, right? And the finances, something that's easy for them to read and kind of understand the concept. Actually, I'm gonna give them two finance books.
Okay.
The Richest Man in Babylon.
Yep.
And I will give them Rich Dad Poor Dad.
That's three great classics. What great books. Yeah. All books that I think I think we're close to the same age, and we're some of the books I read early on in my career, and just love those books. I can remember I'm actually an ex-police officer, and I can remember sitting in my patrol car thumbing through a couple of those books, trying to get through them, while I was on patrol doing work at the same time. Well, thank you so much, Sam, for departing all this knowledge on us. It's such a pleasure to have somebody like you on here who's been through a lot and had so much success and loves books like we do.
But beautiful journey. Thank you for opening up and sharing.
Thank you, guys.
The world needs it so much. God bless you.
Where can our listeners find you, and what are you doing right now that we can pass on to them?
Thank you. Well, first of all, man, thank you guys for the time and the opportunity to be on your show and for your platform. And thank you guys for making this interview so fun, because a lot of times, it's always the same questions and all that. And sometimes it gets tiring me going through my story, same old stories. I'm like, I always tell Isaac, my assistant, that you can't see. I'm like, Isaac, man, I'm kind of tired of my own story. I'm like, I tell my own story over and over again. But you guys made it so fun. And you guys asked me some questions that I've never been asked before. And man, the last one, man, was a really good question. I'm like, gosh, man, I never asked myself that. So thank you for that. For anyone who wants to follow me and know, a little bit more about me, you can just go Google my name, Sam Bakhtiar, Bakhtiar, and all my, Instagram, Facebook, and all that kind of stuff, comes up. And if somebody wants to, directly text me, I have a community number. It's 909-200-4015.
Say it one more time.
909-200-4015.
So great, Sam. Thank you so much for coming on here. I know if anybody wants to really get ahead, and especially in the fitness business, we didn't get into all of Sam's accolades, his championship bodybuilder and all the great businesses that he started. There's tons of great interviews out there that you can listen to get some of that information. Yeah. We wanted to get into his family and how he's living his life as an entrepreneur with kids right now. So thank you, Sam, for coming on, and we hope we can see you face to face soon.
Absolutely. If you guys come to Southern California, please let me know. We'll love to have you guys.
Yeah, we're in Malibu. We're right down the way. I grew up actually in San Bernardino, so I'm not too far away from you. I actually have a real estate office that my brother runs in Highland, California.
Oh, well, we're basically then. I thought you were in Northern California for some reason.
No, I'm back and forth.
Vancouver,
I'm all over. So we have
Canada.
we have a ranch up there, and we live in Vancouver part-time. So we're kind of all over the place.
Well, guess what? Me and my wife are planning on going to Nobu here one of these days in Malibu.
That's our favorite little hangout.
Yeah.
I don't like the one in Newport, so I've never been to Malibu one.
Oh, the Malibu's the best.
What I'm hearing. So that's what I'm hearing. We went to the one in Newport. And I'm like, this is all right. Like, it wasn't like, but everybody says you got to go to the one in Malibu, and I've never been yet. So, we want to go to Nobu and Malibu. And man, I called one time, and they're like, well, there's like 8 weeks wait time, and I'm like, I don't want to wait 8 weeks.
No, we'll get you in. It's like our second hangout. You got to come with us.
So I will. Here's what I'll do. I'm going to message you. Let's put it that we'll take the wives out. Malibu and Nobu, it is.
Absolutely. Thanks so much, Sam. And let's bring the kids too. Let's bring the kids.
Oh, Lord.
Yes.
Me and my wife don't say Lord, we say Lord.
Yeah, your son and our daughter's about the same exact age, so they're just a few months apart.
Little mini
and then we have our little 4-year-old over here that wants to question you and ask you and pick your brain about being an entrepreneur. So.
Oh, I would love that. My kids, though, I'm telling you, man, they're a handful, but I'll bring them if you want me to.
Hey, bring them. Hey, our kids can get that way too, so they'll love to play with each other. And we're right there. It's right there on the ocean. They'll love the view.
Well, I love it, man. Looking forward to it. Thanks, guys.
Okay. Thanks a lot, Sam.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening. Please subscribe. We love you.